The interview. This is the point where you've actually had your resume work. They've reached out and they've said, hey, we would like to meet with you and have you come to our company and let's speak. Now, it's possible that they may have done a quick little interview with you over the phone perhaps and just assessed you real quickly there, but this is where you're literally going in to meet with them. And I've got a few things here that I think are critical to your success as you're beginning this process of now meeting with and being considered by the company. The interview, first and foremost, I want to stress you want to arrive on time and be prepared. Remember the comment about the application? You need to have that information available and ready so you can fill out their application that they're going to have you fill out. You need to have the cover letter and resume that you prepared as a custom cover letter and resume when you applied with you in hand, so if they want to, they can have that. But that's not everything. The first thing I want to stress is you need to research the company. Just arriving and hoping that they have questions for you and that's sufficient isn't enough. You need to, before each and every interview, research the company. Go online and look at their website. Go to their About Us page. Find out a little bit about their company, what they do, what are they wanting to emphasize and stress in their online presence that you need to be aware of. If you know the person that you're going to be interviewing with, you may want to look them up on LinkedIn and see what their profile says about them so that you can actually come in with some questions that may apply to them and help you build rapport. When you're looking at the About Us page on the website, looking at their social media sites, when you're looking at the LinkedIn interview, LinkedIn profile of the people that may be interviewing you, you're getting some familiarity here that's going to help you stand out from all the other interviewees simply because you took the time and energy to learn about them as a company and as people. Now, in this process, one of the things that I strongly recommend is the day before the interview, driving to the place of the interview so that you know where it exactly is and how long it's going to take for you to arrive there. Again, you want to arrive early to the interview. You want to get there so that you're not stressed and anxious. You're arriving before the interview time with ample time to now meet and fill out the application that they're going to most likely give you. But this arriving beforehand, if you don't know where you're going and you're hoping that GPS is going to get you there, be aware, this is when Murphy's Law sets in and you actually try to find the place and you're in the wrong location. So you want to make sure that you find it the day before so that you can easily arrive without any frustrations or anxieties. You want to come prepared with the paperwork that you need, information to fill out the application, having the cover letter and resumes that you submitted available. You want to have the contact information of those references that you may be providing, the previous employers that you have. But the thing that I want to stress about the interview is this. You want to emphasize now that first impression, which we just spoke of, dressing for success. You want to actually come in through the front doors and meet that receptionist, that administrative person that may be greeting you with that smile. And you want to treat them with respect and show interest in them. Something you may not realize is the interviewer may be asking that person who first meets and greets you what they thought of that introduction that they had when you first arrived. When you meet that person, be conversational. How long have you worked here? This is a nice place. What should I know about it? Have a conversation with them. Don't just merely say, I'm here to meet Tom. I have an interview, and they may give you the application at that time and sit down. Have a conversation with them. Stand out so that if the interviewer speaks with this person, they're going to remember you and speak highly of you. Very important. The other thing that I want you to understand is as you go into the interview, if there happens to be more than one person, I shared earlier that you want to greet each individually. You don't want to just walk in and sit down and just assume the process is going to begin. Be proactive and comfortable enough to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Roger, and who are you? Who are you? Shake their hands, if appropriate, fist bump, elbow bump, whatever the case may be, but consciously greet everyone in the room. I don't care what role they're playing, introduce yourself to each person. Now, with this, you want to make sure that you quickly learn how to say everyone's names properly. Oh, how do you say that again? Or get clarification, because you're going to want to use their names repeatedly through the interview process. You want to be able to use their names. Them hearing you say their names is going to be very helpful and memorable that will allow you to stand out. This is a wonderful tip that I want you to understand. because the better you use their names, the more you're going to stand out than the other applicants. Now, when you're beginning the interview, just understand that it's not uncommon that they're going to ask you to kind of introduce yourself and explain a little bit of your background. This is where I'd like to emphasize something that is referred to as me in 30 seconds. Me in 30 seconds is a memorized power statement that just kind of speaks of who you are. It's something that you can say about yourself that they'll remember. It's rather than hum-hawing through who are you and what do you do and so forth, you're deliberate and you're able to be intentional. I'm Roger Connect. I was blank and I did blank and I'm looking forward to working with your company. I've done a little bit of research and I was impressed by this, this, and this. In those 30 seconds, they've heard something about you, your experience, your interests, and you've brought them up as well to show that you've done a little bit of research on them and what it is that was impressed upon you about them as a company and their organization. Now, with this, one of the things that will come up in the interview are questions they're asking of you. Experience. What would you do in these situations? Tell us about your weakest moment or a challenge that you faced and how you overcame it. You need to be prepared to address these types of questions. And we're going to cover these shortly. But the interview itself, I hope you'll realize, has these elements. You're going to be greeting everyone. You're going to introduce yourself. You're going to be asked questions, possibly negative questions of failures or challenges that you faced. You're going to need to provide these accomplishments and be very clear as to what it is you achieved within your job roles. And then lastly, closing. Is there anything you want to know about us? They're going to ask, most likely, do you have questions for them to answer? At this point, I don't want to overwhelm you with what that will look like. We're going to cover that in the next module. But what I want you to understand is that's the context of the interview and what you can anticipate when meeting for that first time with this potential employer. So, big thing here, first impressions. Taking the time before arriving on that first day to first go and find the location of your interview so you don't arrive frustrated or anxious. You want to make sure you're arriving early, perhaps as much as 15 minutes beforehand so that you have time to fill out the application and you're ready to complete that application with the information you collected earlier. And then with regards to this, you're engaging with the person who greeted you, and more importantly, you met everyone in the interview individually, and that's what we want to stress. So with that, I think you're ready now for the interview process to now stand out and be the candidate to consider. So remember this, if it's about business, it is universal.